Well, here we go. A new project for me. My first attempt at building or assembling a LifePo4 battery with a BMS. This is going to be for the camper to allow us to have backup battery power when the sun goes down or if there's not enough sun. So, what I'm trying to do is use the tape to kind of like compress the units and hold them all together. As you can see here, the tape is not cooperating as good as I was hoping it would be. And it's, yeah, making it a lot more difficult than it should be. Yep, tried to pick it up to make sure it's all stay together, which it did. Here I am assembling the BMS. I'd already crimped on the ends of the wires with the ring terminals. You know, really, do you have to watch me crimp rings on? I mean, everybody who's doing this should know what they're doing by now with crimping. Yep, that one screw just messing with me. Well, I don't know what I did there, but huh, lost part of the picture. I left all the wires at the same length because this BMS is not the one I wanted to be using on these, but it's the only one I have. So I wanted to get it assembled so I can start playing around with it and just seeing how things work so I can get a little bit better understanding of things. And I will torque those down correctly. Can never use enough zip ties. Yeah, not so fun just sitting there watching me put zip ties on. I'll agree with that. Oh, and I do believe this was my third try on trying to assemble that portion. Yeah, if you don't think things through ahead of time, you just don't know what you're going to wind up doing until you actually do it. what I'm attempting to do here is to make a little bit of a protection to go between the BMS and the batteries. So really what I did is cut this piece of plastic down to the size of the battery, wound up gluing a bunch of other little strips onto it to space it off where the heat sink is, just to give it some room so that it can breathe, cool off. Yeah, you can see the strips. And back to the tape that really doesn't like me. Trying to multitask. Now, we're still doing all this work while we're in Maine, just trying to get things prepped, ready to go, so that we can get the house ready to sell. Uh, Finishing up loose ends on the camper. And here we go again. It's going to be zip ties to the rescue. I didn't really want to tape the BMS to it. I just felt that because I'm going to be using it on something else, hopefully, I just didn't want to just do that. These are 100 amp hour, 3.2 volt cells, all in series to create the 12-volt battery. Yeah, which is actually 12.8 volts because they're 3.2. When you start looking at the videos after you shoot them, you go back and you look at it and you go, huh, what was I trying to do? Well, here I'm just trying to tape the actual parts on there because it's flopping around more than I wanted it to. I had to put some pieces of tape on the zip ties to the battery to help keep that in place. The nut that's down, the bolt that's down there at the bottom, that's actually the negative side of the BMS. So when you look at the right bottom side, where the red wire is, that's the positive side of the battery. So it actually works out pretty good because it allows the both positive and negative to be on the same side so that when I go to put this in the camper, it will work out a lot easier. And taping the temperature sensors to the battery for the BMS. Trying to figure out what I'm going to do with the wires. And as you can see here, I still do battle with the tape, no matter what. Yes, I probably should have used a pair of wire cutters, but I didn't bring them in with me. That is the Bluetooth module for the BMS. Didn't know really where I wanted to put it until the end. And using the scissors to cut the zip ties. Yeah, I think I wound up using more tape than I wanted to. The ones for the house that we're going to build are going to be 16 of those cells. And here I am now accessing the BMS and getting into the app and looking through it. So I took the settings off from what people has kind of said to do for a 4S battery. So I'm not totally sure if the settings are right, but